Hello, everyone. My name is KJ, and I am the host of Great Talk and Entertainment Official Channel, baby. Now, today is my special guest. He's an actor, a veteran, a cosplayer. He makes 3D printing, and he also loves the Power Rangers. S.Ceezy.
Yo,
Woo!
yo, what's good?
Thank you so much for joining this podcast. And I got many questions I want to ask you, and I cannot wait to hear your journey. And I know my audience are going to feel inspired. They're going to want to know your story even more. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this man, you need to follow him and all his social medias and from TikTok, Instagram. He has a Facebook. You follow it, all of it. Whatever he's got, follow it. Like you need to follow this man. So, can you tell us your journey on becoming an actor, or what inspired you to do that?
So, for as long as I can remember, I've always definitely enjoyed entertaining people, whether that be the one that basically gets everybody crunk at a party to be the guy that initially makes the first move in conversations or something just all around to get somebody to smile to make their day better. And I wound up recognizing that from the age of, I want to say 13 when I was in just all around entertaining. And that was just going into anything. And I wound discovering, got older and developing when I joined show choir, which definitely requires and got to be able to move, dance, and as you're doing that whole thing. But the rest, I guess you could see, is from there. Once I got my hands on a reliable camera, it would be much said and done.
Awesome. And is there any like movies or shows that you've been on in the past, or we should be on the lookout for?
As far as official movies or shows, I haven't been on any official productions, but I'm definitely on a series right now called Champions of Combat. I have a YouTube page, and from there I do many different videos where or sketches that usually revolve around some being known characters, and there are also some unknown characters as well. With these, doing this consistently, it helps me to develop my acting skills.
Awesome. And do you learn do you write scripts and like
Oh
dialogue
yes.
too? And what
Definitely. So
when did you realize that that's something else you wanted to do as well in the mix of that? Just at the same
so
time?
as far as writing so as far as writing scripts and dialogue, this is actually something that's relatively new for me. When I actually started up doing the Champions of Combat series that I'm currently working on right now. We are currently in episode 4, which I'm writing the script for, and it's definitely a new experience because I remember as a child when I was younger, I used to write short stories, and those turned out to be fairly decent, but as you get older, you get better and better with practice. So picking the pen back up feels really good, and the response from the first Champions of Combat that I written was so positive that I wound up continuing the series, and it's pretty much where it's landed me where I am now with that.
That's cool. Who are you like inspired by when it comes to like screenwriting and all that? Like who's your top five do you think of?
As far as screenwriters go, I haven't necessarily delved that deep into it. I know that you have very popular directors that I definitely follow. For one, in his Star Wars franchise is definitely an inspiration. Quentin Tarantino's movies, those were always a favorite of mine to check out. And Michael's had a few decent ones. I know a lot of people be like, yo, Michael Bay is all about explosions and things of that nature. It's action everywhere you look. Night Shyamalan. What a twist! But these are definitely different directors slash producers that I actually do get my inspirations from when it comes to my content.
That's so awesome. Like the ones you just named, I'm a big fan of Michael Bay too. Like I love his movies, especially with the explosions. Like he's the reason why, like, to me, he taught other directors and producers, and like to me, and like in Marvel and DC, how to do the explosions like in a way where it's cool looking. Like, everybody gets mad about the Transformers movies, but Michael Bay's Transformer movies, as when I was growing up, they're always fun to watch, and I love the explosions, especially when Optimus Primes came in and just started wrecking everybody. And I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
he knows what to do, and I just think like he just taught like a whole generation, and that's why I think like Marvel and DC is so good where they're at as far as like productions, because they watch that man do that. When
Mhm.
I think that was like an era where like superheroes and like your Transformers to your Ninja Turtles, like they weren't as popular in the mainstream like they are now. But Michael
Mhm.
Bay like did the impossible and like executed it. And he's somebody I always appreciate. So I definitely agree with you on him uh and the others, of course. Um, can we talk about like your time? Like you're a veteran. I just want to know like where did you serve and where's your rank and all that?
Of course. So when I initially joined the military, I was fresh out of high school. So I turned 18 during basic training. That was back in 2000. That was in November of 2011. From November of 2011 all the way up until I want to say about a year ago. So 2022 is when I finally ended service. And I was stationed at Fort Stewart, and I'm trying to remember. I was Alpha Company 130th, and I was an infantryman for about 8 years. Going from that point, the last 2 years of my service, I was actually a part of the. I want to make sure it's not the National Guard. It's the guys that usually do their thing once a month. Reserve. There we go. I was a part of the reserves for about 2 years after that, because there was an issue with where I wanted to change my job from being an infantryman, because I no longer wanted to be the one that was sleeping outside, running through the woods and doing all that. I definitely wanted to change up my job to something more simpler, so that I could actually have something available to do in the real world once I was done doing all of that. And I didn't want my body to be broken, because I know how most veterans at my age, they'll usually be like, oh, I got back problems, leg, knee, all of this other crazy stuff. Because in joining the army, you'll basically get used until you can't anymore. And before I let them do that, I was like, let me go ahead and stop doing what I'm doing. On top of that, it's a laundry list of reasons of why I needed to get out, on top of me needing to spend more time with my family. So it was good experience, but I'm definitely glad I'm a civilian now.
And you know what? I just
But
want to say thank you so much too for doing that. And I appreciate you and other men and women all over the world. Like that's not a an easy decision to make, and that's not a easy lifestyle to do. So I definitely appreciate you so much. Thank you.
oh, thank you.
Now let's talk about your love for cosplay. Like I remember when I first cosplay, and I wanted to show you this. This is my first cosplay that I ever done. Is this.
Oh, snap, the
Like,
original green.
yeah, yeah. And the my love for cosplay is when I saw like little kids just come up. Oh, you got the bat in the sun. I like
Yep.
that. But I really got inspired more when I saw like little kids who just assumed that I was like, I guess the real Green Ranger. Like they just ran up to me, hugged me, asked for pictures, and because I wore this helmet at the Peoria Comic Con in Illinois, and I wore this for like the whole day. I didn't take it. I mean, I took it off when I had to go to the bathroom or whatever, but I kept it on the whole time, and I try to talk like Tommy Oliver, aka Jason David Frank, but I tried to do that, and I always have fun. So, what made you love cosplay?
So initially, what got me into cosplay is I've always been a nerd for the longest time. I've loved comic books, I've loved the cartoons, the animes, and also the movies. But I didn't officially drop into cosplay itself until I saw the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and that was had to have been back in either 2001 or 2002 when that first movie came out. And ever since then, I was like, before that, I was a Batman fan, and it was because of Batman and Robin that I became a Batman fan. And then once I saw that Sam Raimi Spider Man, I was literally hooked ever since then.
Awesome. Like, and I as I was like snooping through all your TikTok videos, you got a lot. Like I only got the Green Ranger. I have a John Cena cosplay. I have a Dark Vader, Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man. And let's I got Link from Legend of Zelda and the Joker and Batman. So I got 7 costumes.
I saw your link, so I'm guessing the link one must be one of your more favorite characters to do.
Yes. I when I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie, I knew I needed to cosplay Link more because I feel like I I trust Nintendo's gonna make a cinematic universe, and I feel like that should be the next game character that Illumination should produce, and like I want to see these two like be like Sonic and Knuckles in a way, like
Ah,
like they have their own princesses,
mm-hmm.
they have their own kingdom, and they both think differently for obvious reasons. But I would love it to be where like Link could be like Captain America. Some way,
Mm-hmm.
somehow, if you play it, anybody who's played any Legend of Zelda game, you know that man is always waking up from a coma or he's
Yep.
frozen. And he's got, I want him to wake up and be like, who is this Mario? Who is this Peach? Like, I just need it to be like headbutting Civil War. So that's why I've been doing more.
Oh,
But
you just gonna reenact the Smash Brothers? That's
yeah,
what it's gonna
yeah.
turn into.
So, but that's my favorite one. But I also want to get into like your your love for Power Rangers. Like for me, since the Green Ranger is what really wanted me to start cosplaying more, and I'm a '90s guy, so seeing him, I never met Jason David Frank. I wish I did when I had the chance, but I never did. But this is like my Power Rangers, like, and I just want to know, like, what do you think about the Power Rangers now? And do you think that uh you think there should be a reboot in the film?
Now, are you referring to the most recent Power Rangers that came out? I think that was back in 2021.
Yes, sir.
So, what I think they should do is since they already they started that trend, they should do a continuation of that. So, they should do like a part two of that. And the way they left off with the last one is that they hinted at the Green Ranger coming about, but they never went fully through with it, I guess, because of the what's the word I'm looking for? The drawback that they had from the initial film. It didn't do as well as they would hope it would. But I've seen films that may have bombed the first time and then their sequels wound up being better than the original. Case in point, the first Spider-Man didn't bomb, but the second one did better than the original did.
Oh yeah.
Same thing happened with the Amazing Spider-Man. So the Amazing Spider-Man wasn't as good, but the second one came out, they got more comic accurate with the suit, and then they started implementing different styles of villains. Like Harry winds up being the Green Goblin instead of Norman Osborn. It's different, but it's something that we definitely wanted to see. So there's a chance, and I have high hopes for it because I too, I myself am definitely a '90s kid. So I grew up on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all the way up to what they're doing now with Cosmic Fury. So I definitely say that the second time is definitely going to be the winner. It's definitely got to be the winner for them because a lot of nostalgia is what people are going off of nowadays. So I think having that come back a second time, people are definitely going to want to watch it, and it's going to definitely bring back some great memories.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I I think that they should definitely some at some point like recast some of those uh a lot of those actors have passed away, or
Yep.
there's some like legal troubles that just so many I just can't explain. But I think they should recast some of these actors and do like the characters Tommy Oliver, Jason, Billy, and Zach if possible, and just build that franchise to what it was. And I think it'd just be cool. I think Power Rangers could be on the same level as like Marvel Cinematic Universe, the the DCEU, or the next DCU with James Gunn. I think it could be on that type of level. I think so. I still have hope, and I'm never gonna give up on the Power Rangers. But speaking of like that, I noticed that your YouTube channel, and how much time do you put in on that YouTube? Because I see a lot of amazing content on there.
Well, usually a lot that goes with my YouTube channel. For a lot of the shorts that you see there are usually videos that I take from my either my TikTok or my Likey account. Likey is pretty much the same as TikTok. You basically make short videos and you put them out. But the one thing I like about Likey over TikTok is that they have this feature called a shadow feature. So when you're doing transitions, it'll literally once you stop the video, it does a little outline of where you stopped at last, and then you can continue that once you do your costume change or whatever have you, and you can be in that same position, and it makes the transition that much easier. So for the longest time, my largest fan base is definitely got to be on the app called Likey, Likee.
And what is the name of your YouTube channel? Because I want everybody to go on your YouTube channel and subscribe. Definitely hit your notification button over there.
Oh, so my YouTube channel is called S.Ceezy. It's all one word, S-Ceezy. And from there, that's where you'll definitely be able to find my all the best videos that I think should be on my YouTube. I'll definitely be adding more periodically. And currently, we've got the latest video that I've got so far is chapter 3 of Champions of Combat.
And I like that. I really like your concept, and I think it's gonna blow up and go viral even more. Like I think you got something there, man. I think you're gonna do amazing things in the future. Um, Another thing I learned about you, I was scoping you out, 3D printing. Can you tell us your journey on 3D printing and how that all came together?
So surprise, I'm relatively still new to 3D printing because I've ever since I've seen people proceed to make just about anything they wanted. I definitely wanted to get a 3D printer. I practically beg my wife every other day to get one, but we're trying to find the money means to get that. So what she wound up doing was for my birthday, she took one of her paychecks, or at least took half of her paycheck, and talked to a buddy of mine because his name is Atlas, by the way, and he's selling 3 of his 3D printers. And she saw that as an amazing opportunity and wound up buying it for me for my birthday. And ever since then, I've pretty much been, my first project was literally that helmet that you saw. So I was, as soon as they told me the little bit that I needed to know as far as how to make this thing, I I went ahead straight to a bucket list item. Oh, for the life of me, I'm going to play the Green Ranger because literally because of Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, green is and always will be my favorite color. And the Green Power Ranger is like been my idol since I was like 5. So I can definitely say that the Green Ranger helmet, dagger, and morpher were my bucket list items. And I wanted to wear it in front. The plan was to wear that suit and have him sign and autograph the helmet of my Green Ranger suit. But sadly, I won't get that opportunity now. But yes, that was my first initial project, and it came out so well that now I'm just like, okay, what's the next thing that I can do? And I do have plans in place to either make a full blown Five Nights at Freddy's suit or a War Machine armor.
Ooh. Can I tell you that the color green is my favorite color, and the Green Ranger is my all-time favorite Power Ranger as well. Since like you and I, because you know
Oh
what,
yeah, yes.
I because my next question is because I'm thinking about it too. What advice would you give if somebody wants to get into 3D printing? What should we be looking for? What questions should we be asking ourselves?
So if you want to get a 3D printer, the first thing you want to do is think about what type of printing are you going to be doing? Are you going to be doing regular props that are small enough to like hold in your hand, or do you want to start to make props that are big enough to fit like helmets or armor? Yes.
Yeah.
So the exact 3D printer that I have is a CR10, and it's definitely a pretty decent. It's a big size printer to where you can helmet that I made. I had to print half of it first, which is the face plate, the front half plate. I had that first, and then I printed the back side. And the one thing that you would want to look for when it comes to printing that what they don't tell you is there is a lot because your print and you're going to definitely, unless you want to take it as is, you're definitely going to want to get used to sanding. That way you can get that smooth look all over. But after
Awesome.
you do the sanding, the rest is pretty much easy. You're just painting and yeah, you're just painting after that.
Would you because I watch a lot of videos and a lot of people say you want to invest and get into a second 3D printer because
Yes.
the 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 process of the machine could take like all day basically. That's what I'm getting out of it. So do you have
Yeah.
a second one or no?
So I don't have a second one currently. I don't have a second one currently because the first one that I got initially is definitely working for me. But I do know that I may have to invest into a second or third one depending on how fast I want my projects done. Because while one's printing one piece, I can have another printing another piece, and so on and so forth. That way, I'll have all my parts sooner and I can start piecing it together from that point.
That is so
But yeah,
cool. That's
most
so
definitely.
cool. And have you ever made like have you made like small things like coffee mugs or maybe like a boat? Like I always see people say start learning how to make a 3D printer of a boat.
Yeah, so the boat is actually the standard. That's one of the standard things that you can start printing when you have your 3D printer. And that's basically just to show you that everything is where it's supposed to be as far as your PLA filament and your nozzle, the little nozzle that comes out that actually distributes the filament. It makes sure that everything is basically on the up and up. So if you get a perfect size boat and it looks good, then you can continue to print bigger projects. That boat is always how you start with it initially.
Okay. And what how when you paint, do you use like the can spray or do you powder paint
Oh
for
no, I
both?
use cans. I got
Okay.
like a whole thing of these.
Oh
That's
wow.
basically what I used.
And
Definitely, you're going to want to get used to masking. So certain parts that you don't want to be a certain color, just make sure you have the masking tape for that. Go over it, and then just paint away. Once you're done, just peel it off, and then you're good to go.
all right. So you know what I would be cool, and maybe you have like, have you tried to make that piece on the Green Ranger? You know, the thing around his chest. Well, I forgot what you call that thing.
The diamond.
Yeah.
I haven't officially actually tried to make the diamond for that because I haven't thought of doing that because I had already initially bought the costume from Easy Cosplay, so I haven't changed anything on that other than get it hemmed up so that it can fit a person of my size. And that's pretty much as far as that's going. I know I do plan on later on improving upon the chest plate, the shield, so that it can look more sturdy and it won't look as flimsy as it does.
Cool. And what so before we end this off, where can they find you? Where can they follow you and keep up to date with all your latest projects and content?
Oh, so if you're on YouTube, you can definitely check me out at S-Ceezy. It's pretty much all one word, easy to go by from there. You guys can catch me on TikTok. Yeah, I'm up under S.Ceezy Madness. I'm just making sure I have that whole thing correct. It's S.CeezyMadness. S.Ceezy Madness, all one word. And also there's Likey. So those of you guys that have the app Likey, Likee, you guys can definitely find me on there under the handle S.Ceezy Madness. So it's the same way. So S.Ceezy Madness. And yeah, I don't really do too much on Facebook other than the stuff that I post from Instagram usually goes from there. So if you're looking for me on Instagram, it's S.Ceezy, S.Ceezy, all one word.
All right, awesome. And thank you so much, man. I appreciate you doing this. And for everyone who's watching this, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button, and definitely I'm gonna put all his links in the description. So you guys check this man out. He's awesome. And this guy, this is a guy that I can get inspired by with his positivity, his creativity, and I hope one day we can just meet in person at a Comic Con one day and just have a fun time. So thank you guys.